Hey folks, I'm back with another video. I'm gonna try to make like weekly posts on here. So yeah, today I decided that I want to talk about the first time I tripped, because it's actually it's kind of a serious story and kind of funny, but also not funny. So like, trigger warning now. We talk about people having seizures. I don't know if that triggers anybody, but I don't want to, like, it just sounds like it's gonna be a funny story and then boom, it's like not. But anyway, it wasn't me that had a seizure, but you'll find that out here soon. Anyway, I was trying to think of the story and try to think like why I even went over this person's house that day, but I have no idea. So I got some fake names for everybody, names that I haven't really heard before. We're gonna call the dude that I was hanging out with Henry. That used to be my cat's name, but his name's Beans now. Actually, let me show you. I have this tattoo of him. Beans! It says Bean Rye with candy necklace on it. Anyway, but yeah, we're gonna call him Henry, and then we're gonna call my friend who helped me through the night, we're gonna call her Yolanda, because every time I made Sims when I was a kid, I always made the female characters Yolanda. I never knew a Yolanda in my life. I just would always name them Yolanda for some reason, so that's what we're gonna name her. And then I have like a little note that says their names, and then the guy that helped him out, my friend Henry, we're gonna call him Jesus, because he really saved that man. And I don't know this guy, I don't even know his real name, but we're gonna call him Jesus for this story. And then my ex, we're gonna call him Obsessed, because he was obsessed with me. So anyway, I'm hanging out with this guy. I had like just broken up with my ex at the time, but he was very obsessed with me, so he would not like leave me alone. He wanted to know where I was all the time, constantly calling me. Like, we kind of had the same friend group too, so it made it really hard. He was friends with Yolanda and her boo thing at the time. He's not involved in this story, so he doesn't need a name. But anyway, I'm over there with Henry and his roommate at his parents' house, and we're like, smoking some weed and having a good time. And then all of a sudden his friend Jesus comes over, okay? And this dude comes over and he opens up this case, and it's just like sheets, like 5 of them, you know what I mean? I hadn't even seen a single tab in my life at this point, so I was absolutely mesmerized. They had like the milligrams written or whatever, micro dots, I don't know what it's measured in. I'm actually like not that smart, so don't worry about it. All I know is like, this was wild. So he was trying to explain to me that he had ones that were really strong and ones that like weren't as strong, and since I hadn't tripped before, he would give me one that wasn't as strong. So he gave me this one, and then I'm pretty sure we all took the same shit. Okay, so we're all sitting there having a blast. My friend calls me, my friend Yolanda. We were actually pretty close at the time, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I tell her I'm over here tripping, and she's actually kind of stoked because she is allergic to mushrooms. So she was like, "Oh, I'll come over and be your trip sitter, and like maybe if it's good shit, I'll do some." So she was allowed to do LSD and really enjoyed it. So yeah, she was excited to come over. So she comes over, we're hanging out, we're just chilling, listening to music, and all of a sudden, like, I'm so glad I invited her here because she was the only one who ended up being sober there. So all of a sudden, we're listening to music. I'm sitting here, and my friend Henry is sitting in a chair like that is like this. Actually, it's like a swivel chair or a computer chair or whatever. And all of a sudden, he goes to stretch, and he starts to have a seizure. And this is the first time I'm tripping. Like, I had barely started seeing visuals at this point, okay? So, like, I kind of lose my shit as per usual, but, like, my brain snapped. I thought that I was in a, like, dare video, like, this is what happens when you do drugs. So, like, my brain snapped. I got all my shit together because I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, I have to get away from him because I don't want to hurt him. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm discombobulated. This is the first time I'm tripping. I think this is like an hour in. So I'm actually starting to feel it at this point. Like, I was looking up at the light. I remember because I was like disoriented and I was looking up at the light and I was like, oh my God, there's rainbows everywhere. But this guy's like having a seizure and I was very scared. My friend Yolanda's fucking helping me up the stairs, and she's trying to calm me down, and then she's like, maybe it's like something wrong with this shit, and she didn't know because she didn't take any. So then she's like telling me to go to the fucking toilet and start puking. So I'm sitting above the toilet, and I remember being above the toilet trying to get myself to vomit, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I feel like I would have already been you know, doing, like, we all, except for her, 3 of us took the shit. I feel like I'd be season 2. So people are on their phones trying to figure it out. Jesus is calling dude's roommate because he was at work. He had left like before we dosed. We just smoked together and then he left. So his roommate comes home from work. He's like, that's my boy, that's my best friend. He's like trying to help him, and he finally comes back too, and I'm just like not even in the fucking house. I'm like freaking out. I'm outside the house after she tried to tell me to go puke. I'm outside the house running around, and they are in this really nice neighborhood, and they got this like padlock on their door, like numbers and shit where you had to type it in to get in. So I'm like looking I can't get in the front door, so I'm going around the back. I'm looking, and he's like, I see him there. He's on the ground and he's like moving around, but I thought he was dead, even though he was like coming back to. At this point, I didn't know because I like had run outside because I was just going nuts. Like, I was like, after I throw up, I actually didn't throw up, but after I tried to throw up, I kind of lose a little bit of time, and I just remember being outside. So then, somehow I get back inside. I'm out there screaming, Yolanda! Yolanda! It's like 9-10 p.m., I don't know. It's dark outside, and it's, you know, summertime, so it's probably like 9 or 10 p.m., I'm like screaming, Yolanda, Yolanda, and she goes by a door and she's like, come in this way, and I don't even know where her voice is coming from at this point. And I've been to this dude's house. Like, we used to be close buddies. Like, we used to just, like, you know, smoke together. He taught me how to roll my first blunt. Like, this man was my buddy. We don't even talk anymore, so I'd love to just hit him up and be like, do you remember when this happened? Like, anyway, I end up fucking finding the back door, finally, Jesus. And I go in the back door, come upstairs. Somehow they had fucking had him upstairs already, and I look at him on the ground, and he's all sweaty and like red. They have his shirt off, they're giving him water, and he's just laying there, and the first words I hear out of his mouth, he's just like, give me some pussy on my face, I need titties. And I'm like, damn, that man just had a seizure and he's having a blast right now. He just wants titties and puss, like, I'm telling you. Like, and we started laughing as we're shaking, because we're like, oh my god, are you good? And like, we're trying to ask him if he remembers what happened, and like, he doesn't. He obviously don't remember if you had a seizure or not. So like, we help him up, try to get him over to the couch. He's talking about pussies and titties and all this stuff. His roommate's there laughing. And when he wakes up, he actually, he's able to talk to us again. He says he's still tripping. And I mean, it's only been like 2 hours. So he seized and woke back up and was still tripping. And I'm over here like, okay, I'm sorry, bitch, but I want to go home. So I did. And he was totally, yeah, that kind of probably threw off your trip. Like, so I ended up having my obsessive ex pick me up because I couldn't go to Yolanda's house, because if I went there, then her parents would know that I'm tripping, and she was like, I don't think you want to be a part of that. Like, I don't think you want my parents around you while you're tripping. So I just went to my obsessive ex's house and sat on his futon while he slept in his bed, because he had like a room where he had like a coffee table and stuff, and he was like lived in a basement, so like he was able to, like, I could just lay on that couch away from him if I didn't want to be near him. And I just watched a Montreal playlist on YouTube and just listened to really trippy music all night, and that was like, anytime I've been in a weird situation, whenever I'm tripping, anytime I'm done with it, I go home and listen to Montreal while I'm alone. Side story, but a different time that I was tripping really bad, I was with this different ex, and I was dealing with some shit, so I was like, time to take some drugs. So I literally took acid because I thought that was gonna help me feel better. I mean, it kind of did, but I do not recommend that. Don't freaking do that. Do not take acid on a bad... I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. I work well with that shit. So basically, my ex like had me at a house, and I was this is a different ex, and I was freaking out because I did not like him, and he was mad at me because some guy had touched me at the party, and I was sexually assaulted at the party. So he was calling me all sorts of names and shit, and I'm like tripping, bro. So then I called the police, you know, hello, 911, what's your emergency? I need out. So then I went downstairs and waited outside in the cold, and I'm like tripping, and I'm like staring at the snow like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. But I'm like tripping, dude. I actually have more than one of those stories where I'm tripping and some guy is weird and I have to leave. I actually have like 3 or 4 of those. So anyway, the police picked me up, and I told them I was tripping because I was afraid that if I didn't tell them I was tripping, they were gonna get like mad at me. I don't fucking know. Nothing happened. They just drove me to the local police station that my dad could get to, and then my dad picked me up, and then I went home. And in that moment, I sat in my fucking room, watched the sunrise, listened to Of Montreal. I love Of Montreal. I will listen to them whenever I'm alone, tripping, just got out of a bad situation. They're perfect for like everything. I love them so much. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have more funny trip stories and festival stories planned. Let me know what you would like to see. I hope you can't hear my phone fucking vibrating right now. I'm trying to get my fucking GoPro to work. So let's pray for that to manifest, whatever the heck you do. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to put on my notifications. I try to make new videos every single week. Subscribe. I have a Patreon. I have an Instagram. I have a Snapchat. I have all of the things. Everything will be linked below. Yeah. Have a wonderful adventure-filled life, and don't forget to be you. Like, only you. Don't try to be other people, because then it gets kind of stressful and difficult because you're like yourself and not that person. So be your fucking self, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. The ones we keep close, we should never